How's it going, eh? A mellow Canadian here, just embarking on what I hope to be an ongoing series. So the boxed in media shelf in front of the camera here has a small vertical slice of kind of what tickled my fancy in the late 90s to roughly late 2000s. Now, the keyword is small because I lost a lot of physical copies over the years, but maybe we can get them back as well. So today I'd like to start with one of the oldest things that I got. I'll put it in front of the camera real quick here. This is an OEM copy of Age of Empires that came with the original computer that my parents got us. It's supposed to be a family computer, but of course I took that over real quick. So this is 1.0A, and as you can see here, there is absolutely no sign of even Windows 98 support on this bad boy. So I'll see if I can get a picture of the original PC on the screen as well. That is a story for another day. I may even do a separate video on that one. That is a very unique all-in-one computer. Now, I believe the year was 1999. So no word of a lie, but one day before I decided to start making these videos was the first day I decided to actually open this up and look at the insert and instruction manual in here. Well, not really instructions, but just kind of a general guide of how the civilizations work here. Well, let's just open this up and show you guys real quick. So yeah, there's some basic strats, some attributes, and a little bit of a rundown of the different ages, the different technologies, a little bit of the civilization details, which is really cool. Yeah, civilization attributes at the back here, and I did not know that existed. So, because this is a 1.0A Windows 95 based game, I thought it would be cool to see what it does as a stock vanilla install, if we can even get a menu installed on Windows 11. Okay, so we've just put the DVD in, and I'm awaiting a pop-up message that's gonna, hey, there we go. So this is what's known as Windows Auto Run. Now, most versions of Windows will have this. In Windows 11, it'll be the bottom right here. This is by default. So the top option we're gonna go with is Run AOE Setup. That's the furthest to the top. Let's simplify that. So we'll click that. And this is fairly straightforward so far. This is very similar to how a modern game would install. A more modern game, not necessarily like a Steam game. So install Age of Empires is fairly straightforward there, so we're going to go with that top option. So lots of agreements, so we don't want to copy this. This is original OEM, definitely not a copy. So we'll agree to this. This is very likely outdated by now. It's a very long extended user license agreement. All right, who reads these anyway? Come on. So we're going to leave it at the defaults. So we may want to patch this later. And it's best just for compatibility to leave it where it originally lies. So we'll leave it at the default there. So we'll click continue. We'll go full. Typically, the full installs will try to read less from the drive, and generally the performance is a little bit faster if it has to read less from an optical drive, like a DVD. So we'll click full. And this might take no, it will not take a while. We'll just let this go ahead and finish up. There we go. Now, admittedly, I did tinker a little bit with this before I made this video, because, I mean, come on. Wouldn't make for a very popular video if it didn't even launch the main menu. So I'm just kind of reproducing what I originally started with, and we're just going to go ahead and play Age of Empires. Let me see how the speakers pick this up. That didn't make a lot of sense, but no, this is, excuse me. This is actually one thing I did notice. This is probably one of the largest glitches I've noticed so far. Let me just turn the volume up just a bit there so you can hear that wonderful orchestral music, but no video. So there seems to be a decompressor missing. This is very likely an old decoder, decompressor codec or something, I believe. that seems to be missing from the driver in a modern system. So, well, specifically, a driver is a piece of software that talks to your hardware. We're not going to go into that. That's a bit more of a technical analysis, but let's get into the main menu. As you can hear it reading from the drive there. So, very, no pun intended, primitive here. So you notice that there's not actually any options or settings menu. This is kind of normal for slightly older games. You typically would find these once the game starts up. Strategy games, I've noticed, are specifically guilty for this. Command and Conquer is one of them. Very popular series. If you load the main menu, I don't believe in some of them you can even change the settings until you get into a game. I might be wrong on that, and I'm often wrong, but we'll leave it at that for now. So, single player. We're going to go campaign, because we want to keep it consistent here. So we'll go, as you can see, I've already made a profile. That's one of my online handles, and Moj. So we're just going to start with the basics here and the defaults. So we'll click OK. Glory to Greece, glory of Greece. Oh, another cinematic we can't see here. What I might try to do is get it on screen, what the original cinematics might look like alongside this video here, just so you guys can see what the intros and I guess the presentation videos would look like. Okay, so real quick, I switched over to direct capture. I figured it would be a little clearer, well, probably a lot clearer actually, to see what's going on in the game here. So I wanted to kind of double back a little bit as well, back to the menu, and just kind of go over some basics. So of course there's single player, multiplayer, help, scenario builder, and exit back to Windows. Now scenario builder is really cool. It allows you to build your own maps, customize content. Very, very similar to how StarCraft had their level editors and their campaign editors. And I believe Command and Conquer had a very similar thing as well. So that's really cool. We won't go that direction today. We're going to go something a little bit more straightforward. So let's try single player here. And we're going to go campaign. And once again, my moniker's already there, my little handle username. And I'm going to keep it the same, so Glory of Greece, land grab scenario. And we're going to keep the difficulty at moderate. I'm not terrible at this game, but I'm not the greatest. I will probably get smashed, but this is for the better of the video. So, one moment. Apologies for the cuts here or there, folks. It seems that the software for capture that I'm using doesn't like when I switch out menus. It thinks that when I switch to a much different menu, that the game itself either closes or starts, which is very interesting. So we'll have a couple of cuts here or there, but I'll try to splice it, stitch it together as best I can. So, scenario here, we are in 2000 BC, and the Ice Age is over, and food is plentiful. That's very good. So, what we're going to want to do is build farms and take out farms. So it looks like our enemies have some farms we need to take out, and we need to build 5 of our own farms here. So the main point of interest here is going to be Athens, near Thebes. And we've got a legend down in the bottom left there as well. And just very basic information here. So we're going to get right to it and click OK. So this is the start. So this is a little bit of a mishmash of your builder units and your offensive units. So you can see here, big old clubs are the offensive units. These big spiked club-looking wielders. That's going to be our offense. So we're just going to try and separate those. It makes it a bit easier. So right off the bat, this is very similar to other Age of Empires, and the fact that you have a town center or a village center, and you want to start with that. Now, I have mentioned I tinkered a little bit with this before, and right off the bat I'm already doing things I shouldn't be doing. So idle time in this game is very bad. You should not be idling. So I'm going to try and move these guys a little bit forward, more to the north, scout around a little bit. And these villagers, I need to get them to move. And we're going to start with a house with the other one here. So houses are like your supply limit. Very much similar to other strategy games. You have supply, you can only build so much. So Command and Conquer had power, Age of Empires and StarCraft have supply. So this here, since the supply limit is not immediately shown, which can be a little frustrating, but the game is very old. It's a 1997 game. Let's give it a little bit of credit here. But it does show where the supply is when you click on the house itself. So as you can see here, the 10 out of 8 means that we are still in desperate need of more supply. So we'll just create a little bit more. Now I need to get these guys moving a little bit more as well. And we're gonna start by hacking down a tree here. So these guys will get me some lumber, because I am a little low on lumber here. I have plenty of food, but we need more houses. So that's where the lumber ties in as well. Now my offensive units up here will probably need to be fairly mobile. I have been attacked from the bottom and the top at random points when making these scenarios. And right now we're just gonna have him make as many houses as we can or can afford. I'm just gonna keep cranking out these villagers. Now, as far as the villagers go, which is really cool, they are contextual for their assignments. That didn't make a lot of sense, but what I mean by that is anytime you assign them to something, it will change their status. So as you can see here, it says woodcutter. That is because, well, clearly he's cutting wood, and he's a builder because I have him building structures. So effectively, it shows their profession as soon as you apply it, or apply them to a task. Right now, we cannot advance to the next stage because we just simply don't have enough resources. We need 500 food. So, once again, I want to remind everybody I am doing this very wrong. There's been lots of idle time here. This villager should have been building that barracks a long time ago. And a barracks is my offensive production building. So this will build my my clubmen here. Or rather, yes, the clubmen, the Athens clubmen. And you can upgrade these guys too, much like later versions of Age of Empires. Now, should have probably mentioned this when I fired up the game starting. The resolution can be changed, so this is pretty small of a resolution. This is running at 800 by 600. We can go to 1024 by 768, but just for a little extra nostalgia, we're gonna go with probably the resolution that most people were able to run it at the time. Oh, some guy's getting a little frisky with these scouting here. We're just gonna take him out. Oh, maybe we won't. Now, I'm a little worried there that my offensive action probably triggered something, but we're about to find out. Now, much like other Age of Empires, the resources are, well, more or less the same. So we have lumber, food, gold, and we have the stone, of course, stone, yes. This stone is very important later on, but right now we don't need it quite as much due to the age that we're in. So right now Stone Age uses more wood than it does actual stone to build the structures. So I am very surprised, to be honest, that okay, I spoke way too soon. I may have spoken far too soon here. This may be bad. Okay, we're gonna go in a mad scramble here, folks. I'm gonna get my units out of here. Well, that decided to pile down and pile on a lot faster than I expected. I did expect this, but I did not expect this all at once. So, my apologies, folks. I may have to cut once again and take you to a different point in the game, well, where I can show you a little bit more of the fleshed out mechanics without me getting my brains bashed in. Okay, well, gonna take you a little bit forward here, folks, so bear with me here. We're gonna do one more cut. Much appreciated. Okay, so with the camera down, I can focus a little bit harder on actually completing my mission here. I've evolved to the second age, so we're tool age here, and I've upgraded some of my units. As you can see, this guy, we've got axemen now instead of the clubmen. And I'm gonna be brutally honest, this took me a couple of attempts, but you've got to be very honest. The internet will find you out eventually. So as you can see here, my army is pretty sizable here. Fun fact, this is actually the most I can get in a single control group. So if I try to get any more, so if I try to So right now I'm clicking, or rather I'm holding shift and trying to click on this guy, which would normally add him to my currently selected units, but I'm full up. So just give you a quick overview of how my base is here. So what I did actually was I didn't settle in the area that the game started me at. I quickly invaded a neighborhood tribe and made use of their resources. I sound very calm for the actions that preceded this video. Now I've got some ships down here. There's fish that you can find in the ocean and bodies of water, so we've got some fish down here. And they just bring their food over to this dock that I have, just right over here. So this is about as far as I've got so far in any of the pre-recording and any of the pre-sessions that I've done. So why don't we just all willy-nilly here go out and find ourselves an adversary. And once again, I sound very, very calm for what's about to go down. Okay, I think we're pretty good for resources here. As you can see, I've been pretty busy. We'll leave some units here back at the base. So I've got an archery range here. And these are my upgrade buildings, so I can research upgrades from these. Storage pit allows you to bring meat and other consumable items. And the granaries is more the berries and foraging guys. I guess it's all consumable, but slightly different stations for where they bring your resources. So right here, you can see I've got a satellite base just up here, or an outpost I should say, with a granary and some berry bushes that are currently being picked. So that'll help me for food. Now, I completely forgot about my army here. That's very bad. We'll move up to the north a bit. Now I started to persuade the enemy a little bit before I started this final recording session, as you can see by the flames on this granary. I think that's a granary. About to find out. That looks very similar. Yeah. Okay. So let's just take this out real quick. Looks like it was repaired. And sure enough, looks like we stirred up the beehive. So I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit on my speakers because it's probably coming through the direct capture as well. So I won't take too much more time here. One other thing I just wanted to show is diplomacy. And this is similar to other strategy games, where right off the bat your units will not attack if you select neutral as your stance towards other allies or enemies. But right off the bat, it's set everything to enemy. So you got to be very careful. If you don't want to attack someone right off the bat, you've got to set that as soon as the game starts. Otherwise, your units will get a little bit frisky and they go after some walkers by. Okay. So I haven't actually seen their official base yet. I think that was just an outpost for them. Oh, what do we have here? Maybe we can get this done in this last recording session after all. So there's one house there. I did mention earlier, as you can see now, that we've both, myself and the enemy, have progressed to the second age here, the tool age. Stone is much more in use now, the stone buildings, as you can see here. Now, I have not mined any stone myself, but luckily they do give you just enough to kind of build up your base level, and you should be able to win this mission without needing any extra stone. I don't think that's going to be the case for future missions, though. So as we were looking at the intro screen, the goal, I believe, was just to take out 5 of the houses or farms. I think it was houses. Nope. I think we're farms. Now that's interesting. I do not have those ships yet. I should probably get some. Real quick, that's a scouting ship. Oh, light transport and scout ship. Let's see what we can do here. Let's grab one of those. I may be waterlogged. I am waterlogged. I don't think we need that. I should probably check the terrain map first before building that. I'm being sniped pretty bad by that ship, but let's just take out this dock here first. Okay. Actually, let's just move on a little bit more to the corner. It might be more to the bottom left here. Oh, and there's more up to the bottom, or the top right as well. Let's see, I believe, I forget, was it farms or houses that we needed to take out? Okay. I'm pretty sure I've taken out 5 houses so far. We'll see if it gives me an objective confirmation. Now, real quick, before I end the session here, it's getting a little redundant, just being honest. Let's go and see the settings menu. So I mentioned earlier that you can only access the game settings while you're in the game itself, or rather while you're playing the main missions. And so I have noticed that there are a few settings here. Once again, I've tinkered with a few of these before off camera. The volume sliders here don't seem to do a heck of a lot. I'm going to leave those alone, and sometimes they even make things very bad, where if I adjust something very slightly, it increases it or decreases it significantly. But the resolution is the one thing that does work seemingly well. I'll see if it doesn't break my capture, and if it does, we may cut the video a little bit short, but